Venom.
Welcome to Two Film Buffs. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 facts for both the Venom movies.
Wow.
A fanboy created the idea of Venom. Although it's not a fact about the two films, let's start with what made the films even possible in the first place. Partly credited to a fan letter sent to Marvel's then editor-in-chief James Shooter. The creation of Venom traces back to the competition Marvel held in the 80s for aspiring artists and writers. Randy Schueller, then 22, proposed an idea of involving Reed Richards crafting a jet black costume for Spider-Man using unstable molecules. Despite an initial opportunity to write the script, Schueller ultimately did not get the chance. However, a year later, the storyline Secret Wars introduced the symbiote. The movie has been in development since the 90s. Producer Avi Arad embarked on efforts to produce a Venom movie in the 90s after witnessing the success of the character's action figures. During Sam Raimi's work on Spider-Man 3, Arad insisted on including Venom, despite Raimi's lack of interest and the film's already crowded storyline, solely to be used as a device to lay the groundwork for a future spin-off. However, this plan backfired when fans disapproved of Spider-Man 3's portrayal of Venom, leading to the cancellation of the spin-off. Subsequently, Arad attempted to develop a Venom movie as a spin-off from the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, only for it to be scrapped following Spider-Man's integration into the MCU. Tom Hardy used these inspirations for Eddie Brock. Upon Venom's release, fans quickly observed Tom Hardy's portrayal of Eddie Brock to be slightly eccentric. Hardy's performances is a blend of diverse influences, drawing from the comic neurosis of filmmaker Woody Allen, the combat skills of martial artist Conor McGregor, and the offbeat persona of rapper Redman. The lobsters in Venom 1 had to be replaced with plastic ones. The scene where Eddie enters a fancy restaurant and climbs into the water tank with lobsters nearly jeopardized Venom's "no animals were harmed" disclaimer. Tom Hardy's spontaneous decision to climb into the tank during the scene, one of his many impromptu improvisations, replaced the live lobsters with plastic ones to prevent any potential harm to the animals, maintaining the infamous disclaimer that you see in the credits. Tom Hardy took on the role for his son. Tom Hardy accepted the lead role in Venom partly because of his son Louis Hardy, who is an avid fan of Venom. Given Tom Hardy's typical roles in violent and adult-oriented films, he aimed to star in a movie suitable for his son to watch, leading him to compromise on a PG-13 rating, despite the film's head-biting scenes. Although not initially well versed in the Venom character, Hardy relied on his son's guidance to accurately portray Eddie Brock on screen. Venom 2 was actually impacted by The Matrix. The filming of The Matrix Resurrections had an unexpected impact on Venom Let There Be Carnage. Helicopters from the Matrix set were visible in the background of certain Venom scenes. To address this, dialogue was added to clarify them as police helicopters, allowing for a seamless integration between both films. Woody Harrelson had to be convinced to voice Carnage. Harrelson wasn't initially approached for motion capture work on Carnage, and he was hesitant to portray any aspect of the character. Initially unsure about voicing Carnage, he suggested that Serkis, known for his portrayal of characters like Gollum, should handle it. However, Serkis managed to convince Harrelson to take on the role, and ultimately he churned out one of his finer performances we see on screen. Eddie Brock's wardrobe was a homage to a beloved film series. Throughout the movie, Eddie sports a t-shirt with the inscription Mumford Fizz Ed and a Detroit Lions jacket. Interestingly, these are also signature attire items of Axel Foley, portrayed by Eddie Murphy in the Beverly Hills Cop movies. While Brock may not have any direct ties to Detroit, this serves as an enjoyable nod to the iconic character. This restaurant is a link to Venom's origins. Eddie and Anne dine at a restaurant named Le Araignée, excuse my butchered French, which translates to the spider in French. This cleverly nods to Spider-Man, which is fitting for a film centered around the best villain from the Spider-Man universe, potentially an artistic nod to a potential crossover in the future. An alternate title was considered for Let There Be Carnage. The title Venom Let There Be Carnage is fitting, which is obvious when Carnage is the main antagonist in the movie. However, there was an intriguing alternate option considered, Venom Love Will Tear Us Apart, borrowing a title from a Joy Division song. While this would have been a bold choice, they ultimately opted for the Carnage version so there wasn't a misunderstanding with the audience. So that's our 10 facts for the two Venom films. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video and let us know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you and we'll see you next time.